The direct targeting of Jim Jones by Camron and Mase has escalated tensions in Harlem. Camron and Mallory vented years of pent-up resentment in what sounded more like a courtroom statement than a lighthearted podcast conversation, accusing Jim of lying, misrepresenting his involvement in Dipset's inception, and, most importantly, posing as someone he isn't. Welcome to the Celebrity Rap Showroom, everyone. You're in the perfect place if you enjoy hip-hop drama and unvarnished, unadulterated celebrity moments. Remember to click the subscribe button. What started out as lighthearted banter swiftly escalated into a heated argument. As he narrated their common past, Camron's voice was calm and exact. He bluntly declared, "You are not from Harlem," shattering the polished persona Jim had worked so hard to build over the years. Residents of Harlem are aware of one another. You don't have to say it again. No effort was made to moderate the criticism. No deceptive remarks or artful wordplay. This was Cam recalling particular memories while staring straight into the camera. He recalled the day Jim came up to him as a fan rather than an equal. According to Cam, Jim was influenced by the renowned freestyles of the Children of the Corn, especially the well-known 12-minute segment that included Mase, Camron, Cardan, DJ Chloe, and the late Bloodshed. "You weren't there," said Cam again. "You begged to be around." Without hesitation, Mase backed up Cam's assertions, transforming what might have been merely rumors into indisputable facts. He even informed the audience that Jim learned how to rap from him. This was more than just a joke, literally. It was a historical recitation. However, their criticism went beyond Jim's musical ability. It became very intimate. By body shaming Jim and disparaging his appearance and lack of self-control, Camron intensified the conflict that he said, he needs to get his life together. Get in shape, do some push-ups, and use the treadmill. It was not a humorous tone. It was scathing, resentful, and insulting. It seemed like the culmination of years of suppressed tension, finally publicly and unfilteredly vented. Then Cam disclosed a startling fact. He could have told stories of Jim being chased down a beach by BMF members, but he had never done so in public. "Because I don't want to diminish your character, I don't promote that narrative." Cam said this to highlight that he had the facts all along, not to defend Jim. He made a strong concluding statement at the end. The revolution was shown on television. It was more than a metaphor. It was a firm declaration. There was no mistaking the message. Public relations departments and popular hashtags are not necessary for the truth. It depends on boldness and memory. Mallory and Cam both had plenty of both. There was minimal uncertainty regarding the clarification of deadlines and roles. Mase, in particular, was nearly worn out by the conversation and chose to express his annoyance at the lack of acknowledgement he and Cam got. He informed Jim, "We taught you how to tore up. You were brought in. At first, you were a fan." For devoted Dipset supporters. This is a startling departure from the story that we have all been told for years. Jim has been presented as the group's motivator, the hustler, the enforcer, and the one who kept the tone aggressive and genuine. What if, however, that portrayal had been painstakingly created over years of media manipulation and calculated interviews? Mase and Cam didn't mince words. They called it what it was, a historical rewrite. Jim Jones has responded by gently and occasionally directly disputing Cam and Mase's claims on his own podcast and other channels. He maintains that he has always played a vital role in the department operation, not just as muscle, but also as the primary architect of the movement, music, and brand. Jim's story of accomplishment is undoubtedly remarkable. From Ballin to his most recent collaboration with the Lobby Boys, he has forged an enduring solo career that may surpass his early days with Dipset. Camron didn't hold back from praising Jim's accomplishment either. He even offered explanations for why their relationship gradually soured. Cam clarified, "It's like Sammy the Bull turning into John Gotti. The boss became upset when the underboss eventually began to stand in front of him." According to Cam, this jealousy was reciprocal. Cam didn't rejoice when Jim started to get noticed. It infuriated him. Additionally, Jim believed he had earned the right to lead, not just alongside Cam, but also before him. This power battle, in Cam's opinion, caused a gap that never completely mended. In contrast, Mase seems more concerned with legacy than with notoriety. He is more concerned with who will be remembered for the right reasons than with who has the biggest hit. He said bluntly, "I don't care about clearing up rumors. I am aware of who I am." However, the story gets more complex the more you listen. Beneath the insults and animosity, the three guys all suffer from the same thing. Together, they produced something legendary. They are now arguing over who is entitled to claim it. For Jim, Mase, and Cam, Dipset is more than just a collective. Their identities, neighborhoods, youth, and faults are all embodied in it. This issue is not limited to Harlem. It has to do with the fight for legacy. Jim Jones has an opinion on what happened, and he has been passionate about articulating it. He says he wasn't only helping Cam. He was the one giving the Dipset brand stability, respect, and security. Jim claims that although Cam was the artist, he was the one in the middle of things, the enforcer. In order for him to move, I stood for him, Jim said. Cam has refuted that narrative, though. "Everyone who ever challenged you became your friend," he said. "You even went to the French Montana movie premiere, where you were ridiculed in the movie." This remark touched a nerve, drawing attention to Jim's practice of making amends with enemies while separating from his own supporters. The strain from the years was evident as the conversation progressed. It was more than just who started the arguments. Respect was at the heart of it. Cam believes Jim has been changing their common story in public for years while benefiting in private. Madallery feels marginalized and ignored by a legacy he helped create. Jim, on the other hand, who believes he is the leader after being the underdog, might have allowed his confidence to morph into conceit. What comes next, then? Camron made it apparent at the end of the segment that he was done. "I'm going to stop talking about this now." His words were, "Good luck. I need to concentrate on other things." It wasn't resentment. There was a feeling of resolution. Finally saying what needed to be spoken, a guy tired of repressing what he had previously justified. Mase, a former pastor who is now a podcaster and rapper, didn't have to preach. He let the facts speak for themselves. He stated, "The truth always stings, even though people may laugh at least. This feud wasn't your usual one. Distractions and physical altercations weren't the point. Something deeper was involved. Millions watch a generational saga unfold as brotherhood breaks down in real time. Mase and Camron have established their limits. Jim Jones doesn't waver in his position. And somewhere in the middle is someone who is incredibly admired, yet also worn, legendary, misunderstood, and part of Dipset. Because what's left when you take away the bluster and witty remarks is a sentiment that a lot of people can identify with. Both family members who became strangers and friends who were like family. No Instagram live, podcast, or freestyle can ever fully fix that. We would greatly appreciate your opinions on this matter. Therefore, kindly leave your thoughts in the comments section. Additionally, to remain informed on this, remember to like, subscribe, and enable notifications.